everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the video series of answering questions about each other's perspectives of being in a autistic and neurotypical relationship. So the last video was all about me asking Katie questions about what it's like dating someone on the spectrum, and this video is going to be about Katie asking me questions about what it's like being in a relationship with a neurotypical. We might even, if we get fancy, we might even link the previous video in the description, if we remember to do that.
Yeah, and it'll be at the end of the video as well.
Yes.
So, if you haven't seen that one yet, click the link in the description. I mean, you don't really have to watch them in order. They're just us answering questions, but be sure to watch both of them.
Yeah, we might mention something in this video, though,
Yes.
about something that was mentioned in that previous video.
True. So, yeah. So, you should go check that one out first before you watch this one.
All right, and you ready to begin?
Yeah, you good?
Okay, yeah.
Cool. All right. What is it like knowing someone who is as social as I am?
What is it like knowing someone is social?
As social as I am, because I'm a very social human being.
It's kind of funny because I see myself at certain moments quite social. And then I compare myself to Katie on certain days, and I am nowhere near the level of qualification in terms of social. It just shocks me sometimes because I'm like, I'll do something and I'm just wiped for the day because it's like, that took a lot of energy. I'm like, whew, but at least we can come home and take a nap. And then I'll talk to Katie and Katie, be like, okay, and after that we can do this, and then we can do that, and then we can hang out with these people, and then we can do that. I'm like,
I've been a very social human being my entire life. Like, ask my parents. I was a social butterfly growing up. I still am. I love hanging out with you. Like, granted, I do think I've become more introverted as I've gotten older, but I still love going out and hanging out with friends, hanging out with family. Like,
yeah, when we first moved here, Katie was talking about how they really want to have, like, friends here.
yeah.
And that's, like, a really big thing that Katie wants to happen. Whereas for me, that's kind of like, meh.
If you make friends, I'll be friends with them kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we're really been a big thing. Anyways, question 2.
Number 2. Is it helpful for you having someone who can be there for you when you're overwhelmed and can't speak?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, it's really nice to have someone that's pretty much with me 24/7 and understands both through body language and verbal language when things are getting tough and difficult for me. And, from what I imagine, I've never asked you, but from what I imagine, you don't really have that big of an issue with taking an order for me, interacting with customer service for something, because, like, I personally hate being on the phone. I just hate talking on the phone. So, oftentimes Katie will call places for me.
So, there was one time when I was living in Virginia and Hannah was in her dorm up at Husson, and there was this car who, like, his headlights, her dorm room was facing the parking lot. And there was this guy with his headlights that had been on, shining right into his room, and they were the white, bright lights. And she called me. It was like the middle of the night. And she was like, do you mind calling Husson Security for me to tell the guy to go turn off his lights?
Yeah. Let me just add that his lights weren't on for just a few minutes, and then I called. They were on for about, I'd say, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I was considering, like, the person left their car with the engine running or the lights on, like, the battery was going, or something like that. Because it was on for an hour and a half at least.
Yeah.
And it was now getting to the point where it was, like, 11 o'clock at night, and it was a school night.
Yeah. And so
I'm such a grandma.
Yeah. But it was like, yeah, I had to call pretending I was Hannah, and I was like getting her dorm room number and figuring out what dorm she was in and what color the car was. Like, it was bothering me personally and not you.
Yeah.
And we've been in situations like that before. And
yeah.
I don't mind. That's fine. Okay. Number 3. When did you start seeing a future with me?
Seeing a future with you. really know, to be honest. I don't have a specific moment, date, time frame. I think it was just kind of little by little. I just kind of kept seeing, like, more of your personality, more of who you are. I just started, like, getting this deeper connection of you, and I think it just kind of slowly evolved into I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I don't think there was ever a certain moment or, like, year of us being, no. There was nothing like that. It was always just kind of, I don't know, the only thing I can think of is just a continuous deepening of, like, a relationship, and it just, eventually when it kind of got to a certain point, it was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you're mine.
Yeah. We've been together for 1.5 years now. I can't picture myself with anybody but you.
Yeah, there was, like, no certain moment or anything like that.
On this day, in this time, at this exact second. Alright, number 4. What were some of the qualities that first drew you to me?
You were very outgoing and outspoken.
Yes.
I guess the saying opposites attract really do work, because you were quite different than me. You were in your junior year, so you already had established friends, established major, whereas I was in my freshman year, so I didn't have anybody, I didn't know anybody, I didn't really know that much about my major other than I thought it was cool. So it was just kind of like, you made Hessen more of a home to me, and, yeah, it just, I think, I don't know, what was the question?
What were some of the qualities that first drew you to me?
Oh, yeah, you kind of made Hessen more of a home to me, and made it more enjoyable, because, I always just thought I was just going to live by myself, be 4 years at college, just to only be there for school and leave, because that's how I was. That was my attitude towards high school, was just kind of just do what I need to do so I can get out and leave and move on with my life. And that was kind of my attitude going into college as well. Just, you're here for college, you're paying for college, you're only going to do college, and that's kind of it. And you kind of showed me a whole other side to college. And, you know, I never considered myself to be quite talkative and all that stuff, and do the social side of college stuff, but you kind of introduced me to more of that stuff, and I found myself enjoying it more, so.
I'm glad. Alright, number 5. Early on in our relationship, was it hard for you to be around me as much as you were? Because, let me before you answer this, during the first year, really, whenever one of us wasn't in class, we were together. Like, it got to the point where, like, I wouldn't go up to my dorm room for, like, 3 days straight, because I would just be hanging out with her in her dorm, like, 3 floors down, something like that. And it was, like, we spent, literally, when we say every minute together, we mean every minute together, except when we were in class. So, yeah. So, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, we spent a lot of time together. Trying to remember what my thoughts were. I to be honest, I don't quite know. My guess as to what I was thinking during that time was I was having a lot of fun, but at the same time I was very kind of not feeling uncomfortable or out there, but just kind of like unsure of what the structure was going to be towards it, because it was like, because we were hanging out so much together, it was like, when are we going to go get food? When are we going to do homework? When are we going to go to bed? When are we going to, you know, not in the sense of like, I don't want to stop seeing you or stop talking to you, but it was like, when is this conversation going to end? And we're going to go do this. Like, I just needed some sort of like idea of what was happening. And it wasn't that I wanted something to stop or wanted something to not happen. I just needed an idea of what was going on.
Yeah, I remember early on after you told me you had autism, like, we said we were going to the dining center at this time. And then, like, something came up, and I wanted to finish a TV show or homework or something. I was like, we'll go in 15 minutes, and you, like, lost it. Because you were like, this is the time we said we were going to go, and now you're changing your plan on me. And I didn't understand back then. I was like, it's just 10 minutes. Like, it's still gonna be there. The dining center will still be open. It's just 10 minutes longer.
Yeah.
And, like, now I understand. But back then I was like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 6. There you go. What were some of the reasons you decided to let down your wall and tell me you have autism?
It was probably around that same time, in all honesty, I realized you were going to be around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't going to be a short-term thing.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I think just having, as you say, the wall up, the masking, it just got to the point where it was getting to a burnout phase, where it was like, I can't keep up with it. I can't keep doing it. And it's going to have to come down eventually. And I'm already starting to feel more comfortable with you. So I think this is kind of the moment where I should start letting you in a little bit more. And at that point, we'd already talked about like a lot of other mental health things that have been going on with each other. So I already kind of knew a little bit that you would be maybe okay with it, because we'd already talked about previous mental health things and you were totally fine with that.
Yeah.
So I figured if I brought up this, it wasn't going to be like a complete
180.
Yeah, which it turned out to be anyways, but as you'll see from the previous video.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, number 7. It's honestly kind of similar to number 5, but has it ever been mentally exhausting being around me as it is with new people?
As it is with new people?
Like, you know how when you're around new people, you get exhausted quicker?
Mm-hmm.
Has it ever been like that with me over the 4 years of our relationship?
In the beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, as we've evolved and I've kind of gotten to be more of myself, then no, it hasn't.
Okay.
Like, even when we were living in the dorms together, even while we were in college, there were moments where it was exhausting and I really did need me time, because it was like, even though I still had a lot of my wall down, there was still some of it that was up.
Mm-hmm.
And that masking for months and months and months and months and months would just kind of get to the point where it was like, I just need a weekend of Hannah.
Yeah, I remember that. And again, back then I didn't understand it, and I was like taking offense to it because I thought I did something that she needed time away from me at.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of hard to explain, where it's like I need time for myself, and not for the reasons that you think. It's not because you're doing something wrong, or it's not because of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because I'm dealing with my own things, and I just need a break to kind of reset, think about all that stuff. So, yeah.
All right, last one, number 8. Is it ever too much when I try to help you at times? Like, for example, I put down, if you're having a meltdown and cannot express to me that you don't want my help and that you just want to deal with it on your own, is it too much for you when I continuously try to help without knowing that you need your space?
I will say that does occasionally happen, but it's kind of rare.
Okay.
There are times where it's like I really do just want to be by myself, and it's like I know there are things that can help calm me down faster, and I know you can help calm me down, but it's just kind of like moments where it's like I'm at the point where processing what you're saying is just gone, and it's like by you telling me things to do, it's just kind of escalating the situation. And being touched and everything like that, it just escalates the situation, because I'm just so I just have so much sensory overload going that it's like I don't want to be touched, I don't want to be talked to. It's just too much at that point. So there are moments where it does happen, but they're kind of few and far between. It doesn't happen all that often, because for the most part, when you are doing it, when you are trying to help me calm down, or when you are trying to, just help me in some way, while it might be frustrating and difficult at first, usually if I continue on with it, it just helps things get better. It's like, oh, I'm glad I did that, But sometimes at the moment it's difficult, because it's like you have I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you just go from 0 to 100, and it's like you just kind of flip out and freak out because there's just so much happening. And you just have someone be in your face, like, just calm down. It's okay, just breathe. It's like you don't want to be told that in that moment. You know what I mean? You have like 16 different alarms going off in your head. So to have like this extra stimuli going to you, you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
But usually once I get past that point and I try and do it, it kind of calms things down from there and it gets better. But sometimes in the moment, it's like, ugh.
Yeah. I understand that.
So
All right, cool. That's that. That's our video. Thank you for watching our video, and like I said, if you haven't seen our previous one, go check it out. Go back to our channel and check it out. We'll link it in our description as well.
We plan on doing an upload schedule. If you haven't noticed already, I'm not sure when this video is coming out, but we plan on doing an upload schedule for every Tuesday and Thursday.
No, I think they said Monday and Thursday.
Monday and Thursday.
At this point, we uploaded a video today, and today was Tuesday, and so I was like, but we were supposed to upload that video like 3 days ago. So that's kind of why.
Monday or Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah, that's the plan. So just keep an eye out on our channel on those days, and I'm sure once we upload more videos, we'll get in a groove of like what days and whatnot. But yeah, so
thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.
Yes, indeed. All right.
Bye. That's our video.
Thanks for watching, guys.